Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
BigSquareRoadTour.com. In the RV, checking it out, getting ready for this summer. We're starting on middle of July. We will have the schedule of the Freedom Roadshow up in the next week, I believe. Make some announcements about where we're going to be. It's really exciting, really fun. Josh is working on a documentary of the last one, and we might have that out next week as well. So get your RVs ready if you want to come on this journey and join up with us as we travel around talking about freedom, talking about silver, talking about crypto, talking about manipulation. All right. I don't like to laugh when old people fall, but I read this headline, my God, Joe Biden's in a bike accident yesterday or today. And I'm like, oh, Christ. I was a little scared because I don't want him hurt really much. It's not a bike accident. Well, let me show you what it looks like. To me, this is not a bike accident. This is an old man who can't stand up. I'll stop the bike. Check this out. That's not a bike accident. That's a gust of wind knocking over an old feeble guy. Joe Biden should not be president of the United States. This administration is a joke. The entire thing is a joke. But hey, it's the joke we were given because we didn't stand up for our rights, our freedom, and we believe the crazies who control the media. So, speaking of crazies and the media, real good sign that silver's about to pop and go up much higher is Jeffrey Christian putting out Silver Facts and Vanities Part 2. Part 1 was right after the 2011 run to silver dollars for 30. He panicked, his people panicked, and had to get out there and say, oh, all this conspiracies talk is nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing. Horrible poker player, just like Jamie Dimon's a horrible poker player. Jeffrey Christian putting this out now because he knows what's about to come in the silver world. Basically, his take is, we'll hit $50 within the next 10 years. And then he proceeds to show all these facts and graphs and saying, oh, yeah, there's no problem getting 500 million ounces for solar panels in 30 years per year. It's like nothing he says makes sense at all. But he does say it over and over again. And I guess that's, CPM Group and the Silver Institute are the only real silver analysts in the world because silver's been marginalized by the investment community. Just wait until they find out Warren Buffett is literally taking delivery every month of massive amounts of silver. I think in the end, if he lasts through the year, now these derivatives that B of A have put on go through the year, and the big ones will be delivering in the second and third quarters. If it lasts through the year and Buffett just keeps piling on the silver, he'll have probably close to 1 billion ounces of silver. A lot of people asking me, all right, Bix, let's say this is true. Why would JP Morgan ever lease out its silver? If they took 10 years to get it on the sly, and if Ted Butler is correct, which I believe he is, they also took silver eagles and melted them down, which is illegal, by the way, into 1,000-ounce bars. The reality is they wouldn't give up this silver into leases, especially to another bank. They know how wobbly the banking system is. I think they were required to do this by the DOJ settlement. They were required to get rid of their silver. I don't know if Jamie Dimon knows who the silver is ultimately going to. I believe he does. And I don't think Warren Buffett is taking this silver for Berkshire Hathaway either. I think he's taking it for the U.S. Treasury ultimately. So we will see. I mean, it's a long year. The bankers, Buffett already has these derivative positions in place to, I believe, take the physical silver. If it is them at the other end of the B of A, I think it's some kind of a structured note. I'm not so sure it's a lease. At least the B of A / JP Morgan deal, it isn't necessarily a lease. It is a derivative, but I think it's a structured derivative where Buffett, in exchange for investing massive amounts of money into B of A, turns out to be the ultimate recipient of the physical silver that JP Morgan had to get rid of. Otherwise, if they don't get rid of it, they're on RICO charges, which is you have to pay 3 times what you sold with RICO charges if you get busted for rigging the silver market. So they would have to pay back 3 billion ounces of silver because they stole 1 billion ounces. Ultimately, Jeffrey Christian will never talk about that. He probably doesn't even understand it. I'm sure he's not in that loop. He just goes about his business. One of the interesting things is in this discussion he talks about how the CPM group was a consultant for the Silver Institute for 5 years. So if it's true that he was the consultant and they had a deal, then he was feeding the Silver Institute their numbers, and the Silver Institute just went with the way Jeffrey Christian determined what the numbers are. So both of those numbers are complete fraud, which I think is the truth. And that's what we're trying to get to, the truth. So Jeffrey out here trying to scare away people, calling everybody scammers and con people, is just a sign that we are on the brink of something really exciting in silver. So load up on your physical silver. Get it. It's $21 or so right now, so it's pretty much a gift. Go local. It's Saturday. Go to your local coin shop and say, hey, give me all the silver I can fit in my truck, and drive off with it. If you don't have a local coin dealer, you can use mine, Andy Scheckman. Send them an email, info at milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com. I just posted a discussion with Andy on YouTube, so check that out. All right, let's talk oil real quick, because the number one pusher of inflation is oil. Oil is needed for just about everything. I mean, silver price. The costs are for the silver mining companies are going through the roof because of oil. I mean, energy is a gigantic cost of mining silver. So the cost of mining silver is going to skyrocket, and it is skyrocketing with the price of oil doubling. That's double their cost, one of their largest cost bases, besides labor and oil are the number one costs. Gasoline for the mining trucks and mining equipment. So their costs doubled on the oil side, and with labor inflation, it's everything is driving prices up. But the White House has no plan. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. Their plan is to destroy the oil market so they can go to green energy, which uses even more silver. I mean, the arguments for silver cannot be better. The arguments for silver are, just when you think, oh, there's no way there can be another positive thing for silver, there's more, and there's more, and there's more. So the destruction of our current oil and gas infrastructure, because the lefties, the deep state, all those guys want this green new energy, there's not enough silver to even come close to filling that demand. So there you have it. And just wait until the world finds out Warren Buffett is the one taking delivery of all this physical silver. If you want to see a price movement, look at everything Warren Buffett has surprised the investment world with. And I was a recipient of that long ago, not too long ago, probably early 2000s, mid 2000s. I was working for a company called GATX. We were a large rail car owning, leasing division of a large corporation, and Buffett invested, I think it was $500 million into GATX at one point, and instantly the stock went crazy. I was like, yeah, this is great for my 401k. So that's what happens when Warren Buffett says, by the way, I invested in this. And when he did it with silver in the late 90s, when he was forced to tell, no one knew he was doing it. Other than, I think, Martin Armstrong, I think, was the guy who ultimately let the cat out of the bag about the Warren Buffett investment in silver. And Big Swear was this time the guy letting the cat out of the bag of Warren Buffett again investing 2% of Berkshire Hathaway in silver, 2%, which back then was 130 million ounces, which today is 1 billion ounces because Berkshire Hathaway has grown so big. It's close to $1 trillion in assets. So there you go. There's your behind the scenes look. More info at roadtoruta.com. Go check out the Jenny Moonstone and my discussions on this topic because we go over a lot of other things. There are certain people in the know, like Rustam Benham, the CFTC guy, is in the know. He's not the massive player, but he's in the know, and there's a lot of people that are not in the know. So keep that in mind. All right, my search for, are we going to see hyperinflation? Are we going to see 15% inflation rates come September? I'm keeping a close eye on it. Here's the regular gasoline prices. We're halfway through June, and we are looking at a big jump. Now look at last month. So last month we went from $4.20 to $4.60. So a 40-cent gain. 40-cent gain, which would be a 10% jump in gasoline prices. Now we're starting from 4.6 and we're currently at 5.0. So we've already had another big jump in silver, almost like 9% already in the months, only 2 weeks in. And remember, we are working off, if you watched my last presentation when I talked about the prior year, because inflation numbers, CPI numbers, are based off the prior year. So the first, like April and May, we had big jumps in inflation last year, so the percentage of jump didn't look that big. It is June. It had a smaller jump last year, but July, August, September had no jump of last year. So anything that jumps this year is going to fully be reflected in the CPI numbers. So I expect a big jump in June, but massive jumps in July, August, September, getting us to 15% inflation. 15% inflation, I mean, anything over 10, the world's saying, what the hell? And the Federal Reserve has to raise rates above the rate of inflation, or you're not going to stop it. And my take is they aren't going to stop it. They do not want to stop it. They want to destroy the system. So you're not going to see 20% interest rates. That means inflation goes from 10% to 15% to 30% to 90% to uncontrollable. Thank you, Joe Biden and the Biden administration. But it's all done. This is all done. This is all a show. We're living through a show. They control with computers and derivatives. The idea is to destroy the system as best you can. Heard there was another refinery fire in China, a huge one in China. Keep an eye on China. China's going to shut off the United States from goods. So keep that in mind. Again, crude oil prices have gone from, let's take a look, 115 to 122. Huge jumps in crude oil prices, and this is not going to stop. Now, the Bitcoin price is being rigged by the administration, the Biden administration, or the people that control the Biden administration. Gary Gensler set it up. What they did was they got everybody into DeFi. DeFi. Let's blow up DeFi. These idiots who don't understand investments are going to throw all their cryptos in DeFi, and then we can crash that market, scare them with regulations, and everybody who went into DeFi is going to have to dump their cryptos. That's what's happening. I've been through, this is the third or fourth time I've been through the same type of scenario. First, it was the Mt. Gox, quote, hack. It wasn't a hack. Mt. Gox was selling more Bitcoin than they had. And then people started pulling their Bitcoin out and poof, it disappeared. Who started pulling it out? It was the government. It was the controllers of the monetary system that said, watch, we're going to crash Mt. Gox, pulled all the Bitcoin out and exploded Mt. Gox. And that went from, $1,000 down to $100. I sold all my Bitcoin at 200. And then I kicked myself and then I bought back in. But the reality is, if you hang on to it, you're going to survive these. Bitcoin's not going away. If you have the right cryptos, they're not going away. Why do you think there's a 500-page legislation going in front of Congress? This is all part of the part of the plan. So if you're not in cryptos yet, you should be. There's no reason to wait. You need to understand digital asset scarcity, standalone assets. Cryptos are standalone assets. I listened to the Bill Halter, Greg Hunter interview, great interview, and I know Bill's not a fan of cryptos, and they're talking about cryptos going away. It's not going to be true. But Bill said one of the things he said was gold and silver are the only standalone assets without third-party risk. I said, no, that is not true. Cryptos have no third-party risk. As long as you don't stick them in some dumb DeFi thing and try to make 30% interest. Picks, I'm making 30% interest a year. It's called a Ponzi scheme. As long as you don't do that and you hold your assets in your own possession, you're fine. And as Bill Halter says, you want assets that have no third-party risk, especially when all these banks are going to go down. Cryptos are going to go to zero. So's gold and silver. So's the stock market, the bond market. When the banks go down, nothing's open. We won't have exchanges. If you keep your cryptos in an exchange, you're going to lose them. I hope that is very clear to everybody. So yes, you should have cryptos in your own possession. You should have them already, but if you don't have any, you should need to get some quick to get it in and out of those exchanges. Go to Coinbase, start a Coinbase account. And if you can get it, you can go to Binance.us and get some Theta and Theta Fuel. That's the future of the internet. If you think the internet's going to be important in the future, get yourself some Theta. If you like getting your information from videos, from YouTube videos, get yourself some Theta. If you like the metaverse, get yourself some Theta. If you like NFTs, get yourself some Theta. Theta is a software company, if you ask me, that has tokenized it because they don't trust the monetary system. At the end of the day, Samsung and Sony and all these high-tech companies that are invested in Theta are just going to download edge nodes on their devices, and then everybody will be mining, sharing their broadband and mining Theta Fuel. And those people who own Theta and a Guardian node will be the controllers of that. Don't you want to control the monetary system of the world? Get yourself some Theta today. At Road to Ruta, we have a Theta page on the private road to teach you how to buy, store, and stake it. Also, I just posted the Jenny Moonstone discussion, how will investments in silver and Theta change our future? Good stuff, but all the Buffett stuff is there too. So go check that out on the private road at roadtoruta.com. If you're not on the private road and you can't afford the $2.99 per year, go to the free stuff right here on the left side. Subscribe for free, public road updates, your name and your email. But if you want to get the backstage pass, click subscribe today. And with every subscription, we send you a Ruta Lives coin, hand painted, the coolest coin ever made, even cooler than the old Road to Ruta coin. These are really cool. And they come in a velvet box and a certificate of authenticity. So each is individually numbered. We spent a lot of money on these coins. So, get your coin today by subscribing at roadtoruta.com. This is Big Spirit. I'll talk to you later.